Worldwide TV Entertainment, iTunes 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee, WomenOnTV.tv, iHeartRadio, all the platforms around the world. So this is a special show. Not only do we have show number 2 today at 4, however, we got Roberto, tell us who you are, coming back for show number 2.
I'm Roberto Delanese, the author of the Delanese Method.
And obviously, Nonstop Terry Mee. Well, she doesn't go anywhere. Never mind her.
Hello, everybody.
And then the other thing of this, you know what makes this special? Not only do we have Cyberchuck 2.0 in here, we got Raj in here. All right, Raj, tell us who you are, what you're doing, and what's so special about the Mike House Studios here in Hollywood, California?
This is your boy Raj Will. I am a entrepreneur, music mogul, and this is the Mike House Studios, and we here with Brian Sebastian, movie reviews and more, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And he's not kidding. So talk about this. he's not only one of the co-founders of this, but this is a beautiful studio. And a lot of people don't know what's here, so guess what we're doing this weekend? Right, Raj?
Yeah. So this Saturday we're actually doing our grand opening. So we got the building in the middle of the pandemic, So we had to overcome a lot of pandemic-like things, you know what I'm saying? And with that, now that it's kind of over now, by the grace of God, we able to do our grand opening. So that's gonna take place this Saturday with open house from 12 to 5 and live music from 7 to 10, and we just trying to let people know who we are. You know what I'm saying?
So, Chuck, all right, who are you, Chuck? Let's go there. Who are we? Cyberchuck 2.0, Charles Campbell. Talk about who you are and what you're doing and why you're important and why you're relevant. And also, we have to always thank you for your service because you're former military, too.
Thank you so much. Yes, my name is Charles, also known as Cyberchuck 2.0, part of Team Cyber Yoga. I'm known for my daily motivation videos and inspiration videos, known for my Good Morning Family, which I do to inspire and to motivate people to get their day started right, because the way you start your day is kind of a blueprint of how your day is going to look. So I like to just motivate people, let them know, that they can become their best self. And it's only 20, 30 seconds, catches people's eyes, and gets your day started right.
Will, the funny thing about this is, okay, why is Charles doing this? And then I'm like, oh, I get why Charles is doing this. So I actually watch them because they're short, but they really are inspiring. And the thing I like about that is talk about your background, why you do that, why this is important.
So for me, I was stuck in addiction, alcohol and drugs for a very, very long time. And I found myself in a really dark place. And once the pandemic hit, now I'm stuck in the home by myself, having alcohol delivered and just stuck in my addiction. And I was sitting with myself going deeper and deeper. And thanks to my best friend Lamont, he called me out to California. I had an awakening. Now I'm just over 1 year clean and sober. And once I saw the light and felt the love, I've just been wanting to share that with everybody because I was so stuck in the being macho and I don't show emotion. But it's really, I feel like it's a real man that can show a little vulnerability and show emotion. It takes a real man to show that. And I just want to share with all the brothers and people out there that, hey, we can get past all that. And you know what? Love is the highest vibration. And I just want to share that with everyone daily.
Yeah, that's real.
It's true.
And Roberto, you talk about things about your book. Talk about why your method is important. Being that international best-selling author. And again, for everybody who doesn't know, he only wrote this last year. Mm-hmm. You're in your 101 day right now, right?
Yes, yeah. I wrote during the pandemic, the same thing.
Yeah.
When you start the pandemic, say, what I'm going to do to help people? And the idea came, let's write a book, right? So I can do what I know how to do person to person and put in a book and try to spread this to the world, right? This book is very effective in terms of how you're going to achieve your goals, how you're going to live your dreams. So I always say the main purpose of the book is to make sure that you're going to live your dream life. So what you have as a dream, the way that you'd like to live your life out there, I believe that we all have what it takes. If you have a dream, you have what it takes to achieve the dream. So that is the key. And one of the main differentials of this book, there are a lot of self-motivation books, a lot of how to achieve goals books. I use the techniques or the way that I did to when I grow up and when I came from Brazil to come to the United States, work in here, to travel the world and have a decent life that I'm called is my perfect life. Okay, what I had thought about a few years ago, my prosperous life, my abundant life. And I think the main difference is that I focus before you start trying the route to achieve your goal is that you set up your mindset. You basically get prepared, because when you try to achieve a goal, you're going to hit obstacles. There's a lot of things that's going to come after you. And the idea is to be prepared so you can overcome them. So the book is divided virtually in three parts. The first part tells my story that shows, just to give you credibility, that you see where I come from, where I got. So it's a credibility builder for the building, because I'm not known like in this area. The second part is basically your belief system. Is how can you change your mind, how you can take control of your mind so you can overcome obstacles, you can control your stress, your self-esteem, and all those different things to help you to, when you go to part 3, that you define your goal and you go to achieve them, that you are prepared and you will achieve them. So I have a lot of people that I work over the years, and many of them, like me, had a lot of dreams that they used to be qualified as impossible dreams. Right? And they all achieve their impossible dreams, okay, following the method. That's why I believe in the quality of the book and the quality of the method. Right? And I have delivered very good results out there.
So, Raj, talk about this. You know what it's like to dream about something being in that music world. It's not easy. People think they can get up and just start singing a song, right? Or being behind the microphone and then running the board. No. If I thought we could do this, I might be wanting to do that. So I stopped up being a disc jockey. He said, I've done it. I've worked in all white clubs. I was the only black guy there. I became successful doing that. But I also know what it was like to get through that front door. What is it like to be here at the Mike House studio? But before you got here, talk about those obstacles.
Yeah. Pretty much like he said, it starts in the mind first. You know what I'm saying? You gotta see it to believe it. You know what I'm saying? And once you see it, it's the action that you put towards what you see to make it actually come to fruition. You know what I'm saying? And with that, it's a lot of ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? Music is not something that, just happens overnight. Even if you look at the biggest stars, today, they say, oh, overnight success. No. It was years and years and years of hard work before they got to this point, even for myself, and I've been reflecting on this as we have our grand opening this weekend. I've been reflecting on this for the past 2-3 weeks. It'll look like to people like, oh man, like this guy just got a studio and, he just hit the lotto. But no, as I think about it, I'm about to be 30 in October, and this is 10 years of all the work that I've been doing since I graduated high school. Like, this is a 10-year manifestation, you know what I mean? And throughout all that, there was internships. I had to catch the bus 3 hours to get to Neo's studio to be able to intern for him, you know what I'm saying? I almost died in a car accident, you know what I'm saying, from driving sleepy behind the wheel, from driving from the studio and spending, countless hours at the studio, you know what I'm saying. I went to jail for driving without a without a license, and I didn't know you could go to jail for driving with a suspended license. You know what I'm saying. There's so many things that could have easily derailed me and made me feel like, okay, you ain't gonna be able to do this, but I saw what I was supposed to be doing, and I saw my purpose, you know what I'm saying, and I just always had to keep working towards it, and I'm still working towards it. This is not.
I think
this is
that's
not the
why
end.
I like what you do. I don't go downstairs. That's not my domain. That's his operating room. I went down there to visit him for 10 minutes. I'm like, first of all, I like this guy. Second of all, I like what he's creating, and I get it because I've been in those studios and I just kind of sit back, and I'm like, I know exactly what he's creating. Do these other people appreciate the hard work that he went in to get to where he is now? That's what I was looking about, talking about those artists when they come into the room.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody that comes into the space, it's all about the energy you bring. You know what I'm saying, and the energy you put out. You spread love, so anytime you spread love, you're going to get love back. You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of atmosphere that we cultivated here at the studio. So anybody that come into the studio, ego aside, you know what I'm saying? Because anybody can brag and boast, but it's not about bragging and boasting. It's about what you really about and what the intent is behind you. What you're doing, so I feel like we created that type of energy and atmosphere. So the artists that come into the space, they are appreciative, because the artists are actually the ones that see me here every single day. Not everybody see what what goes on, you know, on a 24-hour clock here at the Mike House. You know what I'm saying? And here is what it takes to be not only, you know, a chief of operations, running the business, not only being a young man, but also being a music engineer.
And a man of color. That's a whole nother world, a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, a producer, songwriter, and you know, family man too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of different things, and only the people that really truly work with us and the artists that come here to the studio really know and see me in that. So I feel like they appreciate it, you know, because they see it on a day-to-day basis. You know, they see me here 2 days straight with no sleep. You know.
So Terry, here's the reason why I've not been married.
Oh, geez.
One.
Well, I'm divorced. I'm divorced.
What a segue.
But the thing about this is, it's a lot to put all this stuff together. What do we got? We're almost at 7.4 million views a day and counting. We have 1.6 million views in only 5.5 months of our shows on iHeart. That's only 30 shows that we've done. Imagine where we're going to be. When I say I'm going to do something and I tell you what the numbers are going to be, you bet your ass that the numbers are going to hit and they're going to go over that, because I know. I'm good at manifesting stuff, but I'm good at helping all of our other co-hosts. We've got other co-hosts. You know, me, you've been with me for 6 years, so hasn't Victoria. Victoria for 5 years. But it's one of those things, I'm seeing what you're talking about. I'm seeing the growth of all the girls. Now, Roberto is one of our co-hosts. Charles is one of our co-hosts. Watch and see what I got planned for these guys. I didn't care about the guys. It was all about the women before. But now it's about putting everybody together. So you talked about having a family. The reason I brought up that I've never been married and had any kids, there's no way I could have had a family and done all this. There's just no way. Yeah. So I admire what you're talking about.
When I say family, I don't mean I got kids.
He's making that clear right now.
No, I'm just playing. You know, but everybody is a father-like figure. You know, we just had Father's Day this past weekend. You know what I'm saying? And every man is a father-like figure to some.
Yeah, you don't have to be in general to be that. It's one of those things like that, because I look at our team being a family. We truly do like each other, and we haven't seen each other in almost 2 years, all of us.
You know what's good about this whole
thing? Are you going
to
talk now?
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you let me. It's because you just like to make fun of me because you're like a brother to me because you really do like me. Anyway.
I don't.
Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to say something, though. That's
spicy.
It's about the journey to getting to the goal, and you have to appreciate that journey. And I didn't used to be that way. I used to be like, I gotta do this right now, and I didn't. You know, you don't want to go through the journey, but that's the best part. Is it's going through the failures, the ups and downs to getting to your goal. So I mean, the older I get, the more I'm starting to appreciate the journey.
Yeah, the goal can be a long-term stuff, right?
Yeah,
you have to enjoy from today until you get there.
Yeah.
That's the long time.
I mean, I'm still trying to achieve things, you know, in my life that that I wanted to do younger, that I wanted to do. You know, when I was his age, but you know, I'm doing it now. You know what I mean? So it's. I think there's a timing. You know, you can't. I guess what I'm trying to say is that you can get your goals, but I don't think sometimes you can't put a timing on it. You know what I mean? You have to go through that journey. You have to go through that process to appreciate it.
No, that's real, because everybody think it's gonna be on their timing.
Yeah.
Like it's not on. Nothing is on your timing. It's on God's timing, really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's when it's supposed to happen at the moment. Everything is in alignment for it to happen.
Yeah, and people get frustrated and then they want to give up because it's not happening. Like, oh, I'm not a millionaire right now, or like whatever they want to be. You know, whatever goal they have. You know, I'm just using that as but you have to just manifest it, put it in your mind, put it out there, put it out in the universe, and don't listen to the noise, because I was saying this on another show. There's so much noise, and so many people think you can't do this, you're not good enough, you're not talented enough, you're not pretty enough, and you just have to shut it out and just and.
But that's the thing, though. In those moments, what is it? What is that always common denominator that a person can always hold on to in those moments that's going to push them forward to want to keep on going? Because if everybody's telling you can't do it and everything around you seem like it's coming against you to not do it, what is that's going to keep you going?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask
Being
you,
hopeful, faith.
Charles,
you know what I'm
when
saying?
did you manifest
You must
balancing
believe
on your
yourself,
head?
right?
You know?
That's what I want to know. How did that happen?
So back in the 90s is when I was doing all that. Lamont and I were practicing breakdancing, and I'd do it here and there throughout, my recent past history, but not until coming back in a connection with Lamont.
Interesting.
And I started jumping back on my head again. And what's great when you guys are talking about manifesting and all that, it's true. When you believe in yourself and you trust the process and you let go of all the expectations, things come into play. And the number one thing that I've learned is being consistent. That's one thing Lamont has taught me. You have to be consistent. And when you're consistent and you believe and you trust, things will fall into place.
Exactly.
Not always the way that you want it to be, but the way that it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Raj, did you know he can balance on his head?
I didn't know that. Man, man.
Yeah, I mean, you met Lamont, his partner, who went into Ashley, DJ Badash's video, which is doing great around the world.
Oh.
And I was so glad that you guys came down to the Mike House studio because that's what we want.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't want everybody to come down, but I want everybody who's important to come down, who gets what we want. And the reason why I say that, and I can say it, is because you have all those people reaching out to you, and not all their intentions are pure.
That's true.
That's the reason why I say that. If you're supposed to come down here, and you're going to be more than welcome to come down for the Mike House Studios, the opening, first of all, you got to RSVP, because we're not just going to let anybody in, right? There is that point.
This is true.
And that's why I say that. So when I say, and I'm telling you guys what I'm already building up, you can kind of see what I'm telling you, right?
It's amazing.
This just didn't happen overnight. It did happen 3 years ago. But look where we are number-wise. This is the easy part now. This is gravy. We're on 221 platforms around the world. And when I say we're going to be in the top 10 this year, the next 6 months, we are going to be in the top 10 in the world. And then next year we're going to become number 2. I didn't want it to be this year.
Next year you're going to be number 1.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant. I didn't want it to happen this year. I wanted it to happen in 2022.
Oh, okay.
So that's the reason. I want that bill because all of a sudden you got everybody coming after you. Where do you go when you're number 1? We got to maintain it at that point. Where do I maintain it? On the Dream River Artist Ranch. It doesn't matter at that point who's throwing sticks and stones because we already built up our fort. That's why I say that. And when Raj comes up, he's going to look at, what, you built this up? You were on the studio talking about this? Because remember, I booked you 2 months ago before there was a Mike House opening.
You did.
I plan all these things ahead of time.
This is true.
When I say we're booked until the end of the year, we're booked until the end of the year on our shows. We have to do a second hour. And that's the whole thing. So I'm honored that this young man is here because I like him. I saw 10 minutes, like I said, what he was creating. I'm like, he's got to come to our property. He's got to come up there and create magic. There's a whole town that would love to be involved with what you're talking about, what you're doing. And when you're going to be talking about stuff, representing the Mike House Studios, that's a fun part. When Roberto comes up, who only wrote his book last year, and he's an international best-selling.
Man, and I've been seeing this book too, man. It's an honor to meet you, real talk.
I have yours in here. So.
Oh, man, thank you.
Raj, here's the other thing about it. It's got AR in it. It's the only publishing in the company, in the world that has it, Hasmark out of Toronto, Ontario. Their authors are coming to speak on what they do around the world. That's how we're building up our following and things like that.
Wow.
Charles, who knows when you're going to write a book, but you know what? We know a few people.
Yeah.
So you'll get there.
Yes.
I definitely, I've been told, I've had like some readings and stuff. I do stuff like that, get readings for me to try to get some insight into the future. And they were talking about some books. And I really feel that my story is one to be in a book because so many people counted me out. I counted myself out.
Well, talk about you being in the military. Go there, where it starts at that point.
So was in the Coast Guard, did search and rescue, was a bosun mate, did some time in there and some things that happened, got out. I seek some help, never got the help that I needed and just continued on a really dark path, kept going back and forth trying to seek help, never got it. And it was until I got in real big trouble that the VA came and stepped in and I was able to go to a treatment at the VA. I lived there for 11 months, became the president over the guys that were there. So there was guys there from Vietnam all the way up into the recent wars. And there's about 130 guys. And I spoke for them, between them and the people that worked.
That's a big thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I had to learn how to deal with so many different personalities. Because I would wake up and say, hey, good morning, brother, and they would give me the finger because their morning wasn't a good morning to them. Like, why am I here? This is not a good morning, don't tell. So I had to learn that. And come say 12 o'clock, hey brother, how are? It was all different. So learning how to deal with all these different personalities has helped me to grow as a person. And, it was a great stepping stone going to the VA for the 11 months. It helped me to get certain tools, but ultimately...
Wasn't easy, was it?
No. They were giving a lot of medications and stuff, and that ultimately didn't help.
Right.
And it wasn't until the past year that I had an awakening and just kind of pushed all the medication to the side, and now I do a lot of meditation, yoga, and just physical exercise, and just a lot of breathing to help take, the anxiety and stuff.
This is why you're going to be teaching what you know now, what you went through on the Dreamweaver Artist Ranch, because we will have lots of people who need that guidance. I didn't come from that. I came from a different type of world of that. I grew up in a whole white world where I was always being the only minority there, or the person of color. One of the books, I think, Roberto, I was going to call it The Only One in the Room, because I was always the only person of color in the room. And after a while, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm really white. And then I would have black women make fun of me because, why do you talk so proper? Why do you speak so? Because I grew up that way. I grew up in an all-white town in East Lyme, Connecticut. We had resources, just put it that way. But when you leave all that, you start from scratch. And then when you move to California, things change. You all start from scratch, except for Terry, because she grew up here. How many natives do you find who actually came from here? It's really, really interesting at that point. But Raj, talk about this. When you first started in the music business, who was it that one of the persons that kind of believed in you besides yourself?
Well, really my mom. You know what I'm saying? My mom really put a lot of her own time and effort into making sure that I was steered toward a different path. You know what I'm saying? I was in marching band all throughout high school. She took me to rehearsals, she took me to practices. Next to my mom, it was my band director, Mr. Massaro. It was Ike, who is now my business partner and co-founder of this business with me. And it was Chris. Chris Doolittle, and those three people really kind of always been supporting me throughout this whole thing, and it didn't start in music production. You know what I'm saying? My music background really started as a percussionist. I was in marching band and did, I wanted to be in the LA Philharmonic. I wanted to be a percussionist and all that kind of stuff, but I was always in the studio with my cousins, watching them produce, watching them engineer, songwriting, stuff like that, So next to all those other influences is my cousins, you know what I'm saying? Triple S, Junior Trey, all my cousins that I was in the studio with at a young age, and kind of really taught me the game of what it takes to, be in the music industry. And then from there, it was just a matter of getting my foot in the doors at the right places, and in the right times, and meeting the right people, and, just creating the right type of energy, and being the change I wanted to see,
So Terry, when you see all these guys around telling the stories, what comes to your mind? What are you thinking about?
What am I thinking about?
Yeah, when you're hearing all these stories.
Well,
a lot of times we don't get a chance to tell our stories.
Well, I'm impressed with all the stories.
What, you're impressed? That's a good thing.
Well, I mean, again, it's good to hear everybody's, journey and struggles and goals. I mean, because everybody has a story. That's
exactly.
what you were saying before. That's right.
Yeah.
About writing a book. I'm just not ready to write mine yet because I got stuff I got to do first, but it will come.
That's all that matters. And again, see, Roberto, she has been listening to you, so that's a good thing.
But he knows other stuff I need to do first before I do it. I have a whole Jerry Springer book I can write, okay, about my marriage. So, I mean, there's two books. There's one about that, I mean, which was a Jerry Springer, shit show, but I don't want to bring that one up today.
Oh, I want to. I like Jerry Springer.
Well, I mean, and then it ended up being divorced for a reason, which was a good thing. So.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you meant to be single. Maybe the single life is
exactly.
for you,
Well, I mean, and then I had a relationship.
Because now you got choices.
Yeah. Well.
See?
Yeah, I know I have choices. Well, I mean, I was married, then I had a 7-year relationship, and then I just got.
See, that you doing it too long.
What?
I'm just.
Charles, I meant to ask you this because I really want to know. When did you manifest? When did you know you could balance on your head? Because I can't get over that. Literally. That's not easy. I mean, how many people can do that besides you and Lamont? Really?
Well, in the yoga, when you go to yoga, there's people in there that can do headstands and stuff.
No,
like
that's
that.
handstands. I'm talking about you guys on top of your head.
That don't hurt.
No.
You know what? It's taken a long time of just sitting on the head to have a little spot. I believe Lamont actually has like a spot like grooved out to where he could just really just jump on there and stay there.
Yeah.
So it would have been back in the 90s, about 98.
Dang.
Is it one of those things you were just playing like you were out there balancing with Roberto's book, which I thought was kind of cool actually.
Well, what we had was a table that had the 4 legs. We'd take off the 4 legs, and I'd sit the circle part of the table on the floor, and that's what I would balance. Like, 'cause I was practicing head spins with Lamont.
Yeah.
Back in '98, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would wake up literally.
You from New York?
From here, California.
Oh, okay.
My mother's from New York.
Oh, okay, yeah, because New York, they be with the breakdancing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I literally would wake up and jump on my head. That was the first thing I did in the
Okay,
morning.
that
And
makes
practice head spins, and that's how I started my
Wow.
morning.
And you weren't going to give up. That makes sense, and that's why and I never knew. I see picture. I love this great picture because I show everybody, all my friends around the world this. I'm like, this is Charles. He's one of the guys that is he balancing on his head? Is he really doing it? Of course he's doing that. They think it's a trick to it,
Yeah.
A magic trick?
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking.
Man, it be like that sometimes.
Yes,
Exactly.
It is amazing. It's all the different positions that you make. It is amazing. It's incredible. So.
Roberto, talk about coming from Brazil. What was that like for you when you first came into the U.S.? Because that's an interesting story.
Yes, it was an amazing, like you said, it was an amazing story, right? Because I am from Brazil in a small town, so it's a poor family, right? So that was my dream to become an engineer and to then to work to a big company and to come to U.S. And in the 80s, even like right now, okay, it's very hard to emigrate from Brazil to United States.
Yeah.
So I took my steps until I got to work at Johnson & Johnson, was a big company in Brazil. Okay? And from them, I had an assignment to come to U.S. So as part of one of my goals, those impossible goals, that was one of them, right? So I got to come to U.S. in '83 to stay here 18 months in international development training. So when I got here, was a different world than what I expected. So being in Brazil at that time, you only see U.S. through the TVs, right? No internet, so you go to the TVs and it's a cold country, the people are cold, and it's like it's drugs and alcohol and sex and all. You don't see the bad stuff. You don't see the good stuff. So as soon as we landed in here, we went to New Jersey near Princeton. So you go in that area, it's a beautiful area. There is no fences around the houses. There is no things that we in Brazil had all walls and everything, right? So for me, it was like a huge difference because it was totally different from my expectation. So we love the place. It's very easy to get adjusted when you go to a place that's much better. The quality of life is much better. So the quality of life here and what we were having there, I was married at the time, so it was very different. And I stayed here the 18 months. And before the end of the 18 months, I didn't want to go back. But you had to go back. It's part of the contract, right? And then became my other goal. My goal was to stay in here to find a job, right? And that was something that everybody told me, the same as you said, don't try, it is impossible, there's no way, okay, nobody's going to hire you. They have to hire me to get a visa, to get a green card, so who is going to try to do this for you that you are nobody, right? But like you said, visualization is a key thing. Okay? So I could at that time literally visualize me staying here, working here. I had 3 months before I go back to Brazil, and that's when I started. And I literally could every day see myself living here. We start even looking for houses to see who should be a white house. We want to live in a little white house. And thinking about going to the supermarket and work in a good place. And looking at that time just in the newspapers to look for a job, right? The newspapers and talking to people. So it was like a 2 or 3 months like intensive search in not knowing, but
And you were on a time limit too.
but confident, yes. But you have closer to 30 days to go back. In the weekend of Thanksgiving, we saw an ad in the paper from a company in New Jersey, Sharing Plow, and what they were asking for was exactly my resume. Okay? And I applied, basically begging for the job. Okay? And they invited me to get there on interview. So basically 2 weeks later, I was like 2 weeks before I went back to Brazil, they offered me a job. So I was like, everything came, like you mentioned, in the right time, right?
Yeah.
In the right time, in the right place, exactly what I was looking for. What is more interesting about this story is that then we had to go back to Brazil, wait for visa, for paperwork, right? So we went in January, late February, and came back again, then to stay, right? But what was very interesting is when I came back and I met my boss, and he said, well, now you're here. He said, let me tell you something. He said, that job, it was to be, he said, somehow it was supposed to be for you. I said, why? He said, well, because we wrote the ad and we never published the ad near the Thanksgiving. Nobody's looking for jobs the week before after Thanksgiving, right? So he said it was supposed to be first week of December. So we made a mistake. We sent to the Wall Street and those big journals at the time, and they also made a mistake. So it was a mistake after mistake, and it was publishing that weekend. He said, probably you are the only one that read. And your resume came on a Monday after Thanksgiving, like the perfect guy. He said, we interview, we like you, and everything went perfect, and we got the job. He said, and it was like incredible, because I wrote to the position like a few weeks before, right? So in the time frame that I was thinking about, right, he wrote to the job, he created the position, was a mistake, I see, and I was hired. Right? And that's when you look and say, sometimes you have to be careful what you wish for, because you may get it, right?
Yeah.
So it literally looked like the whole universe was conspiring for me to get the job in here, okay? Because everybody messed up in such a way that I was the lucky one that was at the end, in the receiving point.
Divine purpose.
Was a divine purpose. Was like was literally incredible, right? So that's why I say I believe in those, in the visualization, and how expectation is so important, how visualizing in details is so important, right? Because it has happened to me many times and with many people, right, that I know, right, that have done the same thing. But it was quite a change. So, but once I'm here, when I got here, it's like it's very easy to adjust, right?
Well, I'm happy that you're here, and it's an honor to meet you, and I'm glad that you're part of our team now, too, which is good.
Oh, thank you.
We got about 5 minutes. Talk about this before we move on. Give you social media links, and what do you want when it comes to reading your way?
Oh, okay. My social media links is Roberto Delanese. So I have a robertodelanese.com as my site, and Roberto Delanese in the Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. This book, it's like I say, is a guide. It's not just a book that you can read. It's a working book, and after each chapter there is an exercise there. And the key for the book is to do the exercise. That's when you get to know yourself, and that you can apply the book as you move along the book, doing the exercise. When you get to the end, you are ready to go. You are prepared to overcome obstacles and everything. And like we said in the beginning, right, if you have a dream, you have the tools to achieve. You just need a few tools to help you to visualize and to overcome obstacles, and you will make it. Just believe in yourself, right, and you get there.
Charles,
Yes.
give you social media links, and what inspirational quotes would you have for someone, and how do they reach out to you?
Okay, so I'm at Cyberchuck 2.0, Instagram, YouTube, and on TikTok. And our team site is at Team Cyber Yoga. And an inspiration would be to just believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, it all starts with believing in yourself. A lot of times we get caught up in wanting other people to believe in us. But we first need to believe in ourselves first. And once we believe in ourselves and we continue to be consistent with that, it's just natural that other people start to believe in you because you believe in yourself. And like what I said today was, be kind, be patient, and be loving, not only to yourself, but to everybody. So, it all starts with inside, and it all starts with how you start your day. So just remember, the morning is a blueprint for how your day is going to go. So try to start your day right and get it started right. In my videos on Instagram every day and on TikTok at Cyberchuck 2.0, 20 to 30 seconds, real quick, but it gets your day started right.
Raj?
Yeah, man, I'm just soaking in everything y'all saying, man. I'm trying to digest everything at the same time too. Really, just at a young age, I realized that I had to create something for myself that was going to always keep me going. Much like Nipsey Hussle said, the marathon continues. I had to create something for myself to be able to keep me going, and that was go beyond. I woke up every morning telling myself, hey, all right, today's another day to go beyond. And to go beyond is to exceed any negative limitation the world tries to set upon you. You know what I'm saying? So that means anything that you want to do, anything you want to achieve, you can do it as long as you continue to go beyond. You know what I'm saying? And with that, that's why we are Beyond Average. And y'all can follow me at Raj Will Beyond. We got a lot of dope music coming out here from the Mike House Studios. We got an independent record label. I'm executive producing 7 independent artist albums right now. So later this year and this summer and early next year is gonna be really great for us musically. So stay tapped in. Follow us at the Mike House, Beyond Average LA, Raj Will Beyond, and we are Beyond Average.
Perfect.
I didn't know that. I wanted to know that, so you answered my question. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, sir.
All right, Terry.
Terry Marie Nonstop on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And then my website is terrymarieofficial.com. And I want to say that I am not a morning person, but but after I have my coffee, then I usually look at my vision board and try to be positive that day. Some days are harder than others, but you know what? I just have to stay focused and look at the prize after I have my coffee.
Yeah, there we go.
And social media link?
I did. I said it.
Okay, just want to make sure. Because I was ignoring you. I was still stuck on Raj's stuff. So with that, I want to thank everybody for coming. This is Movie Reviews and More, and I think everybody can appreciate this. And I always say this, if you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it.
Facts.
I'm Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, and please check out the Mike House Studios. Make sure you RSVP because you can't just show up on any invite, That's really, really important, but a host of things. And again, Raj, thank you for being here because I know you're always busy downstairs. That's why I don't bother him because he's creating magic down there.
Man, thank you, man. I really appreciate you, man. Brian, if you guys don't know, Brian was actually one of our first clients here, you know what I'm saying? And your support has been astronomical, man, and it's beyond words what we appreciate you for and coming here, man. So really, thank you. Thank you for having me here, for real.
Well, if you like what's been happening so far, wait till you see what's coming down the pipeline because I'm excited about that.
There it is.
And with that, we will see you next week. And please subscribe, follow all those people. And for us, just view us. That's all I care about. It's about the views. We will see you next week. Thank you so much.